Hey everyone, and welcome back. So doing a news update again today, 2 in 1 week. Actually, it might even be 3 depending on how the rest of this weekend kind of plays out. So as I'm recording this, and hopefully when I'm posting this as well, it is indeed the very last Friday of June. Well, actually it's the very last day of June, but specifically it's the last Friday, which means we have Arrow announcements, and Arrow has announced their September titles. Because we're going into the 4th of July weekend as well, at least here in the States, there's also a lot of sales going on, which definitely need to be mentioned because there's a lot of cool stuff going on. But first, definitely got to do the Arrow announcements. So first up, I'm going to do the 2 Blu-ray announcements, and then I'll get to the 4K ones. So first up, coming to the US and Canada is a Blu-ray release of the martial arts film The Prodigal Son, slated for September 12th. Retails for $39.95, but actually it is up for pre-order right now at Arrow for $28. That's actually pretty good. Has a new 2K presentation of both the original Hong Kong theatrical release as well as a home release presentation. Now, I'm only seeing one running time here for 105 minutes, so I don't know if both cuts are same running length, but maybe there's something different. I have no clue, but this is a Region A locked Blu-ray, so just a heads up on that. And the other Blu-ray release, also for US and Canada only, is the film Borsellino, the French gangster film, and that is estimated for September 5th. Same thing, retails for $39.95, but for pre-order right now for $28, at least from Arrow. And then there's also going to be Region A locked. So again, just a heads up on that. And now we move to the 4K releases. Now, a lot of these will have both 4K and separate Blu-ray releases, but I think a couple of these actually do have a 4K and a Blu-ray included in it. And obviously I'll cover that as I go through each one. So first up, slated for the UK only, is a Blu-ray and a 4K separate releases of Mario Bava's Blood and Black Lace. Now, some of you remember they did release the Blu-ray of that several years ago. And you may be wondering why there isn't a US release. I know for that original Blu-ray release, there was some sort of rights issues that they were kind of able to iron out, but it doesn't look like they were able to iron it out this time, unfortunately. Slated for September 18th, it is getting a brand new 4K restoration from the original camera negative, and it is going to be one of their deluxe sets, at least initially. I'm sure a standard release will come down the line, but again, it is going to be UK only, so obviously 4K region free, but depending where you live, you'll have to definitely import it. And then the Blu-ray release will obviously be region B locked. And there is an Arrow exclusive, which will feature the original poster artwork on the cover, which they've done, I know, with some of like the Argento titles, for example. But that is for I believe that's for the 4K only. I think the Blu-ray, I don't think you have that option. And next up, coming to the UK and the US, is a new 4K release of Ringu, the original Japanese film. Now, there is no separate Blu-ray release for this, and it doesn't look like there's one included. It is just going to be a 4K release, but it is going to be one of their limited editions, at least initially. And it does have a brand new 4K restoration from the original camera negative, and that is slated for September 19th. I know I'm sort of skimming through, I know I'm sort of skipping over some of the finer details, but it looks like, at least, especially for some of these, which are technically re-releases, it looks like they are porting over a lot of the extras from the last releases, which is good. And there is an Arrow store exclusive, which looks like it features the original Japanese artwork on it. So again, a nice alternate option, but that is, again, directly from Arrow, just like with the Blood and Black Lace one with the original Italian poster artwork on that one. And next up, coming to the US, Canada, and the UK, so luckily we're all included in this one as well, and that is a new 4K release of Carlitos Way, the Brian De Palma film. Now, this version will have both a 4K disc and an included Blu-ray. Slated for September 26th. Now, it does look like it is going to be probably, doesn't say anything about a new transfer, so it looks like it's probably the same 4K transfer that Universal has already put out, at least here in the States. I think it's been put out in the UK as well. So technically, you're getting pretty much the same transfer that was already released, but you are getting a slew of new extras. You're also getting the original theatrical soundtrack, which was not on the Universal set. It does port over a lot of the older extras, which I believe were included in the Universal set. And some of those, I think, go back to, like, I think the DVD maybe even, but it's got a slew of new extras. As some of you know, I'm a huge fan of Carlitos Way. It's actually one of my favorite De Palma films. So this is definitely a set I'm going to pick up. And this one also has an Arrow store exclusive version as well, which does have the original one-sheet artwork on it, and I gotta admit, I'm kind of not sure which one to go to because I'm such a huge fan of that original one-sheet. I really love the simplicity of it. But at the same time, I kind of like the new artwork. I'm kind of mixed on that. Especially if you know the film, I actually thought it's kind of clever the way they did that new artwork. So I don't know what I'm going to do just yet. Now, this is kind of one of those that is obviously a major double dip because Universal has already put it out, but again, it's got a lot of new extras, so for me, I'm definitely happy to double dip in this one. And honestly, if they want to put out The Thing, you know, in 4K, even though if it's technically the same transfer that was already on the Universal release, I'm okay with that because I definitely want the other audio options that were on all the older releases, not just the original theatrical mix, but also that 70mm mix, as well as a lot of the other extras. So I don't know, in cases like that, I don't mind double dipping, especially since the studio releases definitely lacking in that regard. So yeah, I love Carlitos Way, so definitely picking this one up when it comes out in September. And then finally, the big one, which was quite a surprise, coming September 25th, I believe, September 25th, yes. Now, this is a UK-only release. There will be a 4K release as well as a separate Blu-ray release for this one, but it's a 4K set of all 4 Psycho films. Well, Blu-ray set as well, but I just mean the 4K set obviously will have all 4 films in 4K. So the original Psycho, Psycho 2, Psycho 3, and Psycho 4, and I believe there's one extra bit on here. So actually Psycho 4 has 2 different versions available. There'll be the sort of widescreen version in the 1.78 to 1 aspect ratio, as well as one that's in the original 1.33 to 1 aspect ratio, which I believe was what it was originally shown on TV, but they did map for it for widescreen because I believe that film was released in other countries theatrically. And that's very common for a lot of made-for-TV movies. And that goes back for a while, like even the original Duel, for example, the Steven Spielberg film, like that was, you know, full screen for television here in the States, but in other countries that was actually designed to be matted off for 1.85 to 1, for example, for theatrical presentations. And this thing has brand new transfers in all 4 films. I assume that the original Psycho is probably the 4K release that has already been out from Universal, but this thing is just loaded with extras on for each film. Now again, the Blu-ray set is going to be obviously region B locked, and again, if you're outside of the UK, you will have to import it from somewhere. Last I checked, Diabolic DVD has it in stock. I believe a couple other places are going to be carrying it as well. Obviously, if you're in the UK, you know, you can pretty much order it anywhere. Now, as far as why we're not getting it here, I mean, I know the rights here in this country are a little bit different. For example, I'd assume, for example, especially with the original Psycho, Universal, at least here in the States, will probably not license that out to anyone. But as far as the sequels go, is it possible Scream Factory will be putting those out in 4K? Maybe. That's actually a very good possibility. And who knows, that announcement may even be coming up. So definitely something interesting to kind of keep an eye out for. Now, I love the Psycho films, so I definitely went ahead and got a pre-order in for this one. And the fact that all the films, especially the sequels, you know, they all got new 4K transfers from their original camera negatives. So again, because those exist, I would assume, at least here in the States, that probably Scream Factory will put out the sequels here. Just a guess, but who knows? We may find out in the next couple days, and I will get to that in just a moment. But those are the September titles from Arrow, so definitely a nice mix. You know, I know this year has been kind of weird with them from month to month. And of course, next month, we'll find out what their October titles are, and that's going to be really interesting. So speaking of Scream Factory, we should get their announcements actually any day now. I wasn't sure if anything was going to come in today, because their announcements tend to come in usually around the end of a month or the very beginning of a month. Now, I would assume, probably out of respect for Arrow, that they decided not to release any announcements today. So who knows? We could get some over the weekend, maybe early next week. Obviously, I will be keeping an eye out for that. What's going to be announced? I don't know. Could we have some of those announcements that have been rumored, like the Blob 4K, the Blob Remake 4K, the Night of the Demons 4K? Could the Psycho sequels be in there? I mean, who knows at this point? Definitely a lot of possibilities. So we'll see. Obviously, as soon as those announcements are made, I will definitely make a video as quickly as I can. And of course, I also want to mention a lot of the sales going on this weekend. So first off, this weekend, even well, July anyway. For example, Barnes & Noble has their 50% off all in-stock Criterion titles for the duration of the entire month, and I believe Arrow titles as well. Now, I don't know if it's all Arrow titles. It might be some and not others, so you're going to have to check. But definitely for Criterion, anything that's in stock is 50% off, including any title that even comes out this month. Now, obviously not pre-orders, but as soon as it's released, yeah, that definitely falls under the 50% off sale price. So something to kind of keep an eye out if you've been looking for some Criterion stuff. And again, that runs throughout the month of July. And we got a couple sales going on this weekend. Obviously, the Severin one, which I mentioned in the last video, is up and going and goes through the end of Monday night. I think like 2 a.m. Eastern time Monday night. So a lot of titles are 50% off. Obviously, they have all those new titles that are up for pre-order. They also have a couple bundles kind of going on. One of the bundles is actually already sold out. It was the last horror film bundle. It came with like a little Joe Spinell doll and like a couple other things. That one actually sold out, but all the other ones are still available. If you want to get like just everything or all the movies or just get stuff individually. I know I really wanted to get more, but I only got the 3 main titles that I wanted to get. But yeah, that sale is still going on. Also, Full Moon has a sale going on their website. I think a lot of stuff is like 40% off this weekend. And actually their sale runs through, I think, July 6th, if I remember correctly. And then Vinegar Syndrome has their summer subscriber sale starting, I think tonight, actually. I think tonight around midnight Eastern time. I'm in Central time, so it's going to be around 11 o'clock my time. And it runs all week. So that's basically, this is the only time, like if you want to do the half-year subscriber option, this is the only week you can sign up for that. But they are going to have some new titles, and they will have some stuff on sale. Not everything is going to be on sale. They're basically going to do, I think what they did last time back in January during the subscriber week at that point as well, where every single day they'll have a couple titles that are on sale just for that day. But they are going to have 4 new titles up for sale, 1 VSA title as well, and a lot more partner label titles as well. So once all that stuff is up, I'm going to try and hopefully get another video out this weekend, at least just kind of going over some of those announcements and everything. And also we get the Scream Factory announcements. Obviously, you know, I'll try and cover this as quickly as I can. My schedule is a little kind of crazy at the moment. So I think that's about everything. I'm sorry I skipped over some of the details. I know sometimes I go through, you know, all of the extras on these releases. I apologize for not doing that for this video. Definitely a lot of very interesting stuff, and I definitely want to get to some other videos as well that I'm long overdue on, not just an update video, which I really need to do, some more reviews, which I'm long overdue on, and a pickups video. I was kind of waiting on a pickups video, and then a lot of stuff came. In fact, just before I recorded this video, this finally just came in, the Arrow Empire set. I know a lot of people got it a couple weeks ago, but I had to order it from Amazon, so mine just came in. So a lot of stuff to get to, and hopefully I can finally get to them. You know, June was such a crazy month for me. So definitely let me know your thoughts, and if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them as best I can. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.